sometimes. But anyway, that's enough for that game. Moving on to the next game, we got Ravens at Vikings. Going to be a very interesting one. Ravens are -4.5. The over/under is 48.5. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup. The EPA statistics to me for this don't matter nearly as much because these teams have gone through so much change since the start of the season. The Vikings, with Carson Wentz getting in there, the injuries they've gone through and are now, healthy. And then for the Ravens, obviously not having Lamar Jackson for a couple weeks there, really changing the offensive EPA. But I will say their defensive EPA is 25th. And now their defense is going to be a little affected by Lamar not being in there, but it shouldn't be, too much. So the Ravens defense is definitely, it could be the weakest unit in this game. It's both these teams are fully healthy for what seems like the first time this year. I mean, I know they got some injuries, but mostly guys who are not coming back. The Vikings pulled off a really impressive win last week versus the Lions, and they were pressuring Jared Goff like crazy. They blitzed him 44% of the time. I think Lamar can handle the pressure much better if they use the same game plan. But who says they're going to use the same game plan? We know Lamar is great at exploiting the blitz on scrambles and play action. And in their past matchups, Flores has had some success versus them. Who knows if he shows them the same thing or something different. But the Vikings are better at stopping the pass. So I don't know if they're going to be ready for Lamar and Henry regardless. And I would trust Todd Monken to scheme up a nice run game against them. And McCarthy last week, he did get a nice impressive win, but he hasn't played against a defensive scheme like this before with Zach Orr so far. Well, it's not a great defense, but the scheme itself, that Mike McDonald scheme that Zach Orr is now running should be something new for him. And Kevin O'Connell should be able to help him out with that. But it's not like they won last week purely because of J.J. McCarthy. I wouldn't say he was that phenomenal. So, and don't forget the Lions theory. The week after you play the Lions, you're all beat up and more likely to lose the following week. So I'm going to take the Ravens 28-20, breaking through that Vikings defense. Ravens -4.5 and under 48.5. Joey, who do you think is going to win this game?
I think you take the Vikings +4.5 and you pair that with the Falcons spread, and then you bet that because I think the Vikings are going to win. I think they have a better overall team. Like you said, they're both fully healthy, but I think the Vikings are picking up some momentum here because they have a lot to play for. I think I think we're going to see all four NFC North teams in the playoffs. But I want to say the Vikings will win this game 31-28 by a field goal.
Okay. I think the Ravens have a lot to play for right now.
They do, but I kind of like the Vikings more than I do the Ravens. I like their defense better than the Ravens.
I do think the Vikings defense could be a surprise in this game. If they could really contain Lamar, I would be extremely impressed and kind of consider putting them near the top 10 once again. But your score prediction was what again?
Give me the Vikings 31, the Ravens 28.
Okay, if the Vikings win, that's probably how it's going to go down. All right, move.